So I went to check with police just to see how many calls they've gotten on these storage unit break-ins. Now, the first one came in on January 22nd from the manager himself. The second one from a renter on February the 10th. And the latest from Reinhardt himself on March the 11th.
And administrators.
Currently, 49% of the students enrolled are minority, with only 2 to 3% minority teachers.
Stephanie, what can you tell us so far?
Well, Marissa, right now I'm on the 100 block of Concord Road in Highland Projects right now. The call came in around 9:30 according to dispatch. Now, currently, as you can see, police are surveying the crime scene. I've counted at least 12 evidence markers. Now, it's kind of chaotic out here with people walking around trying to figure out what's going on. There's groups of people standing in every direction right now. Now, police say, again, 3 victims are confirmed to have gunshot wounds, but there may be more victims. There's no word on suspects or suspect right now. We will continue following this all through the night and into the morning. We will have a live report starting at 4:30 in the morning on ABC 57 News. Reporting live in Benton Harbor, Stephanie Johnson, ABC 57 News.
What did he have to say tonight?
Well, the organization already has a working partnership with Elkhart Community Schools, but after the recent bullying here, they've stepped in to assist Concord to make sure that everyone feels safe in these schools.
A female was found alongside the road here shot.
A place for safekeeping was anything but safe earlier today.
She was in the back of the storage buildings here in her vehicle, and it appears that she was shot sitting in her vehicle at least one time in the abdomen.
Aaron's Mini Storage in Niles became a crime scene around 3 o'clock this afternoon.
She was here. She doesn't have a bend here, so that's what we're trying to figure out, why she was here.
She was left to crawl to this X on the road to get help.
She managed to get out of her vehicle and walk all the way up here, where she was found laying alongside the road by a passerby who called 911.
Leaving police to survey the entire property for evidence. Berrien County sheriffs pulled their canines and their crime scene investigation van to help track down whoever is responsible for this.
Where her vehicle was, there's blood in the car, there's blood along the storage building, and then on her way up here, there's some evidence at the first tag.
One thing police are certain about is that this act was not random, so residents shouldn't be worried.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of problems here in this part of Niles.
Stephanie?
Well, sheriffs tell me Barnes' blood alcohol content was .447 at the time of her arrest. Now, that is more than 5 times the legal limit to operate a car in Indiana, but sheriffs say Barnes was in jail for over 27 hours at the time of her death, and that's why they feel alcohol may not have played a role.
It's not uncommon for us to see people that are highly intoxicated.
LaPorte County Sheriff Deputy Mike Kellums has seen a lot as an officer.
Somebody that is consistently a high volume alcohol drinker can get that high and operate normally and function perfectly normal like we are right now.
That's why it isn't uncommon for him to hear of someone driving under a BAC of 5 times the legal limit.
The amount that a person consumes and the way they operate.
And police say that's why Friday night, when 33-year-old Rachel Barnes drove her car into a lake on County Road 250 North, she was taken to jail instead of the hospital.
People that are what we would consider falling down drunk or losing control of their faculties, not able to stand up, maybe having difficulty breathing, we would take them for medical clearance at the hospital. She did not exhibit any of those behaviors at all.
Kellum says it wasn't until nearly 30 hours behind bars that she passed away.
But our deputy didn't see anything at that time, neither did the jail staff. Believe that she was impaired to the point where this would have caused her death.
Now think about it like this. On average, 0.015% BAC leaves your system per hour. Barnes was under the influence of 0.447%. So after 29 hours, the alcohol would have nearly been out of her system.
The other thing that we need to make sure we understand is that the investigation, while being very early at this point, may lead to something other than alcohol intoxication that may have been a factor in her death.
Kellum says he can't remember the last LaPorte County jailhouse death, and he says despite the circumstances, he feels for the family.
You know, our condolences go out to Miss Barnes' family. We're sorry that this had to happen while it was on our watch.
Now, the autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. We will update you as soon as those results come in. Reporting in the studio, Stephanie Johnson, ABC 57 News.
Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Nyzira Neely attends Concord Intermediate School, and she's received messages written on sticky notes like these, and they were left on her locker. Her parents are sick, feeling like their hands are tied.
Y'all don't make me feel safe. Y'all don't make my daughter feel safe.
Eugenia Neely believes her daughter's school should be a bully-free zone, but her daughter is telling her a different story.
Last week on Monday, I got my note, a first note, and it said, "Watch your back."
That's what she found in her locker at Concord Intermediate School, a threat Nyzira Neely didn't take lightly.
I was worried, very worried, about the first note, because, you know, nowadays people bring weapons to school.
Things only got worse after a second note came in a week later, attacking her race.
I got a note and it said, "Don't belong here."
And Nyzira says she has an idea of who wrote the notes because
This girl, she called me a
to her face. So she reported the notes to her teacher, and eventually
and the principal called me down to his office and we talked, and he told me that I shouldn't worry because they're just words, but I felt like it was more than words. It was very offensive.
her mom agrees, believing administrators could have done more.
Be honest with you, it's never good enough.
So ABC 57 tried to work on her behalf. We reached out to the principal, and his office told us they don't comment on internal matters. The same thing they told Eugenia, Nyzira's mother.
They can't tell us what the consequences was for the little girl, the girl who called her the N-word.
But Nyzira's parents say as long as the author of those notes remain in school with their daughter, they won't be satisfied.
We just trying to get justice done for our child.
Justice they hope will heal some of the wounds their daughter still has.
I just keep trying to talk to them and let them know that everybody's not like that.
Now, the Neelys say police should now be involved since one of those notes was written in a threatening manner. They also say that now that their daughter has been bullied for years, even by teachers, and at this point they just don't feel comfortable sending her kids to school anymore. Reporting live in the ABC 57 studios, Stephanie Johnson, ABC 57 News.